welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Brenda. This is my platform, Not for the Ordinary. Welcome. If you're not new, hi. I'm glad you're back and I'm glad you're watching my videos. Today's video is actually a chit chat. I have not done my makeup on my YouTube channel in a long time just because I've been trying to think about and create more skincare content, and honestly even that sometimes is like really like it's a lot. And today's video is the first video. It is a chit chat, get ready with me, about how your makeup technique may be ruining your skin. So if you are interested in chatting with me about how your makeup technique may be ruining your skin and seeing how I personally do my everyday makeup look and, you know, just tips for everyday makeup, then just keep on watching. I might talk about other things, you never know, I'm very random. So tip 1 for a flawless complexion and to have your makeup look good is make sure you prep your skin. So first I'm gonna start with my eyes. This varies. Sometimes I start with my eyes, sometimes I don't start with my eyes, but generally I start with my eyes. In the past, if you watch some of my videos, I used to use the Urban Decay Primer Potion. I still really like that, but honestly with primers, they are really like a personal preference. You don't always need primers. I would say in the summer months when your skin is a lot more oily, then you would definitely want to maybe consider an eye primer of some sort and a face primer, but generally you really don't need that. So what I'm going to start off with first is I'm going to use the Maybelline Tattoo Creamier Eyeshadow. I would say personally get a flesh tone creamier eyeshadow, and then put that on your eyelid as a base, and then all your powders are going to adhere to that. Putting this all over my eyelid. And I used to be a really big like primer person, and then I realized like honestly I'm kind of just like wasting money, which is a thing that I really have been trying to get better at. Like my money management, like what I spend my money on, which clothes, I'm just gonna tell you, like I've done the past couple videos about fashion. I'm doing more like fashion content because I love like fashion and I love like dressing up and like, or just like, you know, just expressing myself. Like I'm a very expressive person, so yeah, like clothes are my vice right now the most. But yeah, I'm trying to conserve my coin. So next I go in and I do my eyeshadow. Since we are all indoors right now and this is a pandemic, I thought it would be perfect anyways to just talk to you about like an everyday makeup look, just something very soft, beginner friendly. And I would say my tip to you when I was working is I would use like a very nice neutral tone. And what I mean by that is just something that's going to really just be very soft and just complement your skin tone. So that could be, if you're on the deeper end, you know, you want to go for something that is very warm, like some warm browns, some warm oranges, like some soft oranges, maybe like a pink and a brown, but just go with very neutral colors. And for my general everyday makeup look, it varies. Like sometimes I go on with 2 colors. I never go in with more than 2 colors for my everyday because I'm not about to go walk the runway. I'm not about to go and like, I just don't need to use all of that every day. So I'm gonna go on with the Jackie Anni palette, which I talked about before. I actually like this. Very nice bold colors, but I'm gonna go on with the color Ginger, and that's actually a very nice soft orange. I'm taking a fluffier eyeshadow brush. This is literally like a nice flush of color. So that is definitely a tip that I have for you. Go in with a nice flush of color. Like where are we going? Where are we going? I would have to like, sometimes I would think to myself, like, trust me, I still love makeup artistry and I love seeing people with all these like cool, creative, like eyeshadow looks. But half of the time, I just be like, I'm not doing that. I'm not judging anybody that does it, but like, I'm just like, where am I going? Like, I just found myself always doing neutral looks most of the time anyways. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put a little bit more of that product on. And a tip that I have is, you know, start off with a little and build the intensity, because once you put that color down, it'll show up. But you can just go ahead and keep building. If you want the color to be even more bold, keep going in with the product and just kind of blending it on your eyelid. Literally, that is all I do for every day. You see that? Like, flush of color. Boom, boom, bam, bam. That's my flush of color. So now what I do is I generally go in with a little eyeliner. I will tell you, like, I had mentioned, if you are somebody that's been following me, I have literally mentioned in a couple of my videos in the past that I just don't do eyeliner. Like, I don't do wings and stuff, but I honestly don't, because I just don't do wings often. And for every day, get you a nice brown, like a dark brown eyeliner pencil. Brown is honestly very nice, especially during like the daytime. If you don't want a super dramatic like eyeliner, then brown is just going to give you like that nice warmth, very awake look. So I've been loving the Kat Von D tattoo tattoo liner, and it has like felt tips, and it's in the shade Mad Max Brown. So generally what I do is I literally put like the lightest line. Like, I just want to define my actual like lash line, but I don't want to have like an intense like eyeliner. So I'm just gonna go in, and what I do for my eyeliner is I start on the inner corner first, and I literally just take my time, go right by my actual lash line, and then I stop in the middle. You see that? I stop in the middle, and then I go and I bring my liner over and I meet that line, and I kind of just go. So now that I did that, I'm going to jump into, I stop with my eyes for a minute and I jump into my face. So one major thing that I'm going to tell you, and I feel like I've learned this, well, I started to think about this more. Excuse me, I burped. One thing I definitely have to tell you is watch. This is the first like one big thing when it comes to like how your makeup could be ruining your skin. Watch what foundation you get, if you're wearing foundation, of course. Why I say that is because honestly, the last couple months, like, I've been trying to see what are my actual favorite foundations, and not all of them are the same. And honestly, go for really nice, light, natural finishes, dewier foundations. I know, like, in the past, people with oilier skin, you probably have been told, like, go for something that's like a matte or a soft matte. And don't get me wrong, one of my favorite foundations for a while was the Fenty foundation. I really liked the Fenty foundation for a while, the soft matte one. But honestly, truly, matte foundations are just not the best. They're not the best. And honestly, a lot of them are really drying. The Fenty one wasn't drying, but it's still like, after a while, it wasn't ideal. But anyways, recently I found this foundation, and this is Bite Beauty Micellar Water foundation. I like Micellar Water. Micellar Water, on its like a makeup remover, if you know, is really great, very gentle on the skin. So when I saw this, and I think I was like on Sephora's and I saw this, I immediately got intrigued. It was in the clean beauty section, but what drew me to this is the fact that it was like a micellar water foundation. Bite Beauty is a brand that I've heard about before, never tried any of their stuff, but this I love. Like, this honestly is one of my favorite recent purchases that I honestly really love. It has a very nice skin-like finish. It feels like you literally are wearing nothing on your skin. Like, I'm not saying that. It honestly feels like you don't have anything. So even if you're a person that doesn't like foundation, this could actually be something that if you want to actually have more of like a flawless look to your skin, go for something like this, because this is really nice. So next tip is apply foundation where you need it the most. Like, don't go ahead, like, unless you want more of a full coverage look, go ahead, live your full coverage life, but really apply your foundation where you need it the most. Generally, I need my foundation on my cheek because that's where I break out the most. So literally start where you need it the most. And this foundation is a tad bit, don't clock me, but it's a tad bit darker than my skin tone. I'm pretty pale anyways, and I'm not trying to suck up all the sun. So yes, I go in with a foundation generally that is a shade or two darker. I don't mind it, and I kind of even it out with my concealer. So what I'm doing is I'm just applying this where I need it, and then work it out into the rest of your face where you don't need any coverage. So I start in my cheeks, and I just kind of go everywhere else. Especially for my everyday, I didn't want to have found like a ton, like it to look like I have a ton of foundation. Always get underneath your neck because you don't want nobody to clock you. So always get by your neck underneath because you don't want to look like a mask. I think it's the worst thing that I have ever experienced, when I really didn't bring my foundation down to my neck and it looked like I had like a mask on. It's just not flattering. Not in pictures either. So honey, do yourself a favor. This is a concealer that I just recently purchased. I actually really like this formula. It reminds me of Tarte Shape Tape and also NARS Radiant Creamy, which is two excellent, like two of my favorite concealers, like really good concealers. And this one actually has a lot of really hydrating ingredients in it, which I cannot remember them right now, but generally if you're using a concealer, a lot of people use concealers underneath their eyes and then, you know, just a spot conceal. You want something also that is more hydrating, especially if you are applying anything underneath the eye. Your eye area is a very dry layer of skin, so you want something that's really going to be nice and creamy and not drying and kind of creasing underneath your fine lines. You don't want that. So this is actually really, really nice. And I believe I got this in a shade that was too light for me, but I'm gonna work with it. So I generally go ahead and I conceal right underneath my eye. This applicator is really nice. It's like a flat applicator. I just put a little concealer underneath my eye. Some people put dots, some people put triangles. It depends on how I feel that day. So I could just put like 3 little dots underneath my eye. And you see it's like lighter. Then I go ahead and I put a little bit on the bridge of my nose. And then right here in the center of my forehead. You don't have to do this. I'm pretty sure if you've seen tutorials before, you've seen people do this, but generally this is highlighting. This is what I do to like technically highlight and contour. I don't contour because I don't feel like I don't need to do that every day either, so I just don't do that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my beauty blender and I'm kind of gonna just blend out this concealer. It's crazy how much you can grow with your makeup techniques, because I literally learned how to do makeup on YouTube, and then now that I am an esthetician, I do my makeup so much differently. And I'm really thinking about like, oh yeah, this makes perfect sense. Do it like this. So generally, okay, so after I kind of semi-blend that in, all I'm going to do is go around my entire face and I'm going to blend everything in and just make everything look very seamless. So my next tip that I'm going to give you, and this is another one where it's like, this part may be ruining your actual skin is powder. So when people, and I see it a lot, like people over powder or they use too much powder, and just like what I mentioned to you about the foundation and picking out a foundation that is not more matte, you don't want to dry your skin out. Like if you dry your skin out, your makeup is going to break down a lot quicker. If you're using tons and tons of powder, your makeup is going to break down a lot quicker throughout the day. Even if you use a setting spray, it's still going to break down a lot quicker because you're drying your skin out and your skin's going to produce more oil. So go easy with the powder. Like honestly, you don't really need to bake either. Like I don't even know if baking is still a thing in this day and age, but like you don't really need to bake because all you're doing is like drying out areas of your skin. So the powder that I'm actually using is by Airspun. I've been using this powder for a long time. I've thought about using Laura Mercier, and I still might use Laura Mercier in the future because a lot of people rave about it. But honestly, this powder is really good. It's finely milled, it's lightweight. I don't feel like it gives any flashback for anybody. Like I just think it's a real good OG powder. So I just take a little bit on a beauty blender. And what I'm going to advise for you to do is not really press. I don't know what you're using, but if you're using a brush, just sweep, like lightly sweep, or kind of do like a pat and roll when you actually apply your powder. But if you're using a actual beauty blender, take a little bit of powder and just kind of look up. Make sure you tap in any areas that look like it's creasing, and then kind of just tap, 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 tap. Like lightly tap in powder. And don't use a lot. Like use just a little bit of powder and kind of just tap. This is going to set the concealer, but also it's not going to be too much powder and not going to dry out your eye. And I kind of pat and roll, pat, pat. So this is what happens when you don't use a lot of powder. You honestly don't need to use a ton of powder to get like a really nice smooth under eye. Just use very minimal powder. So the other place that I'm definitely gonna put powder in and be very light is my T-zone area. So your T-zone area is literally gonna be your oiliest area anyways, and this is honestly the only area besides your under eye that you need to set, because it's going to get shiny, especially now since we are in the like hotter months. We're producing more oil, so you want to set your T-zone, because if you're on the oilier side, like truly oily, you're going to be truly oily. So go ahead and place a little powder, you know, if you need to, on your chin. Typically I don't place powder on my chin, I just place it like right on the center of my nose and just a little bit on my forehead. And so I just take a little bit of powder like the first time, and I kind of just tap, 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 literally like the lightest tap ever. And I'm literally not even pressing my beauty blender in. I'm literally just tapping it lightly. For me, I don't wear falsies for every day generally, unless you are somebody that loves falsies that much. I feel like I don't have time nor patience to put on false eyelashes, and I thought about getting like the individual eyelashes, but that's just extra money that will be wasted. So I just like a really good mascara, and the mascara that's my OG mascara right now is the Kush mascara by Milk Makeup. I tried like a sample version of this and I fell in love. It gives you like a really nice volumized like lash look, and it looks really nice on, you know, your eyes. It's $20 or so, and it's worth every penny. I really like this one. Besides this one, I love Benefit. I want to say Benefit Big Lashes, or Big Lashes by Benefit. I don't know. It's some kind of big something. But I take a couple coats of this. This actually has really good conditioning ingredients for your actual eyelashes. So they actually put actual good ingredients that actually condition and, you know, strengthen your eyelashes. Like now I'm officially done with my eyes. Like, that's all I do for my eyes. That's it, period. We done. What I always go in with is bronzer. Bronzer is a must. Bronzer is like every day. Like, a lot of people, for a while, I was always so confused why people were so like contour, and I'm like, where are y'all going? Like, not, and I'm not judging anybody, but I was like, where are y'all going? Like, but that you always want cheekbones to be snatched. Like, I want my skin to look just sun-kissed and warm. So bronzer has always been my thing, and I always tell people to go in a 3 motion. So literally go in a 3 motion. Go on your forehead and kind of go down, go underneath your cheekbone, and go right on your jaw. And that's just going to give you a really nice warm look. You're going to notice if you go in a 3 motion that, you know, you just look really nice and warm in the areas that the sun naturally hits your skin. Lastly, for my complexion, I always go in with blush. Like, I'm a blush girl. When I say like I'm a blush girl, I guess I've always been a blush girl, but blush just adds so much to your skin. Like, when I see, you know, people and they don't use blush, I'm like, it's so sad. Because blush literally gives you like this awake look. Like, it gives you like a very nice, like, baby, like your grandma, like if you pinch your cheeks, like all the blood just rush to your cheek. And this one is a nice, like, dustier rose color. It's gonna look really nice on deeper skin tones. So yes, this is my favorite. And what I use is a flat, like, it's literally like a flat powder brush, and this is actually from Elf. And I take a little bit of the blush on my brush, and all I do is just kind of tap it in, and I put a little on the bridge of my nose, and I kind of just tap, 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 and just kind of stipple it in to my skin. And honestly, you can tell the difference. When you use blush, you can always tell the difference. My favorite combination right now, I've really been loving the KKW Beauty lip liner. I mentioned this in one of my videos that I recently did about a couple of favorite things that I like, and these lip liners are super, 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 super creamy. Not just saying that. I wasn't big on trying to get KKW Beauty, but this is really good product, so I really like it a lot. This is actually a different shade than my initial shade, which I got Nude 2, but this is actually, what is it, Nude 3, which is a dark, deep brown, which I personally wanted a dark, deep brown. And this is just a creamy brow pencil. Why do I keep saying brown? So what I'm going to do is I'm kind of going to outline my lips. Generally, what I do for every day is I use a lip liner because lipstick transfers. I then will go in with my favorite nude lipstick. At the moment, Fenty Beauty, their matte lipsticks are literally my favorite lipsticks. Like, they are the best lipstick formulas that I've tried recently. And this is actually my favorite shade. It's single, so this is actually a very nice, soft, neutral nude. I'm gonna apply it there and kind of blend it out. This is literally my favorite nude. Yep, favorite nude, period. So this is the final look. So that's my lip. That's my favorite like combination. I love like a dark shade with the light shade. I'm definitely going to do a whole video about nudes. Like I said, definitely make sure you give me a thumbs up if you want me to do a video about some of my favorite like nude lipsticks and like lip combinations. Like I'll do that. And so what I do is I just spray my face and just set everything in place.